Hi, sweeties. How are you doing? Welcome to Nine Sim. Thank you so much for all the support. Hope you all are doing great. So I came across a video, and at some point I thought maybe this is a joke or something, and I decided to dig deep to know what it's going on, only to find out that it's true. He's a Latino man. He's a married man with children, and after the election, the wife found out that he voted for the other person. So the wife is actually asking for separation, right? She doesn't want the marriage anymore. And she already asked him to leave the house, to pack out of the house. And I am going to say congratulations to the woman for being very bold enough and strong enough to take such decision, because how do you expect, like, somebody that is supposed to be a protector? I mean, the father of the house, the pillar of the house, to not even care about the wife and the children, right? And took the decision that he did. And I don't know how he feels about, if he is remorseful or something, but yeah, black people been telling them and they think it's a joke. Now they are seeing the repercussions of some certain things that they are doing. Some certain things you do really do have consequences. And I really do wish him well, because, like, why am I supposed to be sad? I am not sad. I am good. I'm happy, and I am very happy for him. And I am happy. I'm happier for the wife, because she really did a great. I mean, like, it's really a great decision for her. And yeah, let's just get it. Let's get into this.
My wife is divorcing me. She said she couldn't be with the Trump supporter.
Well, I got nothing to say right now. Please continue.
Told me I have it till the end of the day to get my shit out of the house, get all my things. She's changing the lock. She doesn't want me back. She said she's taking the kids away from me. Yeah. I don't know what to do.
Listen, I'm never going to celebrate like a family being broken up. Him saying she's going to take his children from him, etc. That sucks. But to be clear, for situations like this and situations where people have like cut off family members, it's not because they're a Trump supporter. Like, him being a Trump supporter is not the reason. Him being a Trump supporter is one of the symptoms of the reason. It's like a byproduct. I looked through some of his other stuff. One, to make sure this wasn't like satire, and it seems, unfortunately, it's not. But two, like, in it, he had another encounter with someone where he was in his yard doing yard work, listening to a conservative podcast. Someone allegedly came by and said something. I think that's sort of what the problem is here. It's that his morals don't align with hers. He is absorbing these voices and these opinions and these ideas that are greater than just Donald Trump. There's a commonality of people who think and act that way. People who think certain ways about women, for example. People who have sort of like more chauvinistic or misogynistic ideals also being Trump supporters. I'm willing to bet it's that. But him believing that she left him just for being a Trump supporter is a lot like a doctor telling you you have lung cancer and then telling everyone, I'm dying from a cough. This cough is killing me and I'm going to die. The cough is a symptom. It's a byproduct of the thing that is killing you. Like the expression, the straw that broke the camel's back, it doesn't mean a single straw broke a camel's back. It means it was the final one out of millions of them that became too much to bear. You supporting Trump was the straw, but it was just one of the many that were the symptoms of the real sickness.
So I just saw a video of a Latino man who voted for Trump, and now his wife divorcing him with 4 kids. She told him before he voted for Trump, if you vote for Trump, I'ma leave you. He thought it was a fucking joke. He thought it was a game. She was explaining to him why not to vote for Trump and what's gonna happen to her, but he didn't care. It's 47 all day for him. Now he on social media crying like a bitch Somebody, what are you gonna do? What you gonna do? You gonna go out there and you gonna marry a MAGA, a Trump supporter. It's that simple. See, everybody don't understand voting for Trump, what it really means to other people besides just you. So you gave up your whole family, you gave up all your wife rights to vote for Trump, and she left your ass. She left your ass, and I'm happy for her because you're a fucking dummy anyway. But don't get on this social media crying and begging about what you gonna do. You gonna move on with your life. Because evidently she didn't mean that much to you when you went in that voting booth and voted for Trump. I've been seeing a lot of stories like this of people leaving their husbands who voted for Trump. And I don't blame them at all. Your values are not their values. But don't bring your punk ass on here crying, talking about what you gonna do. You made your bed and you go lay in it with MAGA. Cause nobody gonna want you if they know you voted for Trump anyway. So just stick to MAGA and she gonna move on. Now she's single. Now she gonna be happy. For a fucking vote. You voted for nothing and you lost everything. Y'all stupid.
Are people really getting separated or divorced because of how they're voting? It doesn't make sense to me. I didn't marry my wife because she agrees with me on everything. We've actually had pretty diverse ways of thinking about things. I've always been more leaning to the right, and she's been more leaning to the left. Although, thanks to Kamala and all her shenanigans and everything that's been happening during this whole year, I think my wife is leaning more to the right because the things that women are fighting for right now, like abortion and equal rights, it's all nonsense. So she's seeing that, and I think she's starting to kind of sit in the middle where I was. Now I'm leaning more to the right, and she does what she does. Like, I'm never going to try to convince her, you have to vote for Trump. She just follows my lead as, the wife in the house, and she trusts that I have really good judgment. That's why she stuck with me all these years, for 11 years now. And I said, I'm voting for Trump. And she said, all right, whatever, we're going to go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and follow your lead, and I'm going to vote for Trump too. So she understands that I'm not just doing it because, I don't know. I'm thinking of our family and our family's future when I think about our vote. So that's the way it is. But even if she didn't want to vote for Trump and she wanted to vote for Kamala, I'd be totally fine with that. I love the woman. She's an amazing mother. She's an awesome wife. She's everything I've ever dreamt of as a wife and a mother in my house. So, if she wanted to vote differently, that's fine. And I don't think she ever had a problem with me trying to vote for Trump or leaning more to the right, because I have strong family values and I really care about, our family. And that's pretty much my whole life, is just working and taking care of our family. So she trusts me on that end. I trust her to do her job, and we just work together. But I can't believe people are just really getting divorced or separated over political ideologies, because you shouldn't be marrying someone for that reason anyways. A woman should be marrying a man because he's a great leader and he's going to follow, she's got someone to follow, and she knows he's going to make the best call for the family, and they're going to progress and grow as a family. And that's what her job is. And his job is just to stick to his purpose, grow as a family, protect, provide. That's what we do, right? So none of that really deals with political stuff. I don't know. The fact that women are divorcing their husbands over voting for Trump, it just goes to show you they were never really in it, for the right reasons anyways. And they were probably on this new age stuff where, we're going to split everything 50-50, and whatever. I like to be the breadwinner of the family. If my wife starts, she starts making money, I got to find a way to make more money, because I'm never going to slow down, always got to keep pushing. But this video's gone on long enough. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below.
Well, if it isn't the consequences of your own actions. Advice needed. I voted for Trump. My wife sent divorce papers. What do? I don't know, you probably shouldn't have voted for a man who hates your wife. I didn't know it was possible to be served divorce papers this quickly. Hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. I don't even know what to say. I'm shocked I married somebody willing to throw away our entire life over politics. Last week we were happy, today we're getting divorced. She won't have a discussion. She says nothing will change her mind. Insists she is going to report my parents because they live off of disability, but my dad does some cash work auto repair. She wants me to buy her out of the house. We have $300,000 in it plus built a 4-bay garage since we bought it 3 years ago. I can't afford that. Should have thought about that before. When I told her as she was packing her things, she said, I guess you're finally going to really know how it feels to be fucked by a Democrat. ETA, her name is on the deed but not the mortgage. I'm not confident that I can reason with her. What do I do? Where do I start? How do I fix this? Is anybody else experiencing this in the wake of election results? I sure as shit hope so. And I wish your ex-wives a lifetime of happiness.
No, because my bad, my fault for thinking that it was common sense to not vote for the racist, misogynistic, narcissistic, homophobic 34-count convicted felon who was impeached twice. Who has essayed multiple victims, who has cheated on all of his wives, who has admitted that he is attracted to his own daughter, who wants to get rid of the DOE, Department of Education, who wants to get rid of FAFSA, who wants to defund public schools, who wants to ban certain books because they're talking about LGBTQ plus topics, who wants to get rid of LGBTQ plus rights and same-sex marriages, who wants to give immunity to police officers to further increase police brutality, who wants to have a violence day to lower crime rate, who does not believe in climate change, who won presidency twice when he ran against women, but only lost when he ran against a man. The list goes on, but I thought it was common sense not to vote for this man, instead to vote for the qualified woman. Oh, but there are reasons to vote for him, right? He's gonna help our economy. Okay, so when he was president, our economy was better because he was riding on the coattail of Obama's laws. Why are our taxes higher now? Because we are still under Trump's laws when he was president. Oh, but he's going to give us a tax cut. Yes, he's going to give a tax cut to the top 5%. The rest of us are going to pay more taxes. Oh, but he's going to put tariffs on imported goods. Yes, and who will pay for that? The consumer. Oh, but he's going to give us cheaper gas. Well, excuse me for thinking that again. It is common sense to think that a woman's reproductive rights and access to basic health care is more important than cheaper gas. What's going to happen when your niece or your daughter has an unplanned, unwanted, complicated pregnancy and she ends up bleeding out or dying from sepsis? But the doctors are too scared to help her because it's illegal. What's gonna happen when your wife or your girlfriend doesn't want to have sex with you because she doesn't want to get pregnant, but she can't get an abortion and she doesn't have access to contraceptives? Are you gonna grape her? But it's okay, because in America, rapists become president, right? It's not about politics anymore. It's about being a decent human being. And a lot of people are showing their true colors right now.
They do not love you. They do not like you. They do not respect you. They saw your pain. They saw your fear. And they voted for the chance to be proximal or aligned with a power they will never have. Rural people, working class people, voted against their interests and against your life and your livelihood to have proximity to the power to dominate and oppress. I am so tired of hearing narratives that plead to ignorance. Narratives that say, well, they just don't understand. They just aren't educated. Please explain to me why the directionality of this ignorance always is tied to the coattails of patriarchy, white supremacy, and capitalism. Why are people always ignorant in the direction that would allow them to oppress? I need us to get very serious about protecting and understanding our own interests and solidarity. I need us to get very serious about divesting, refusing to share our sadness, our vulnerability, our stories, our fear with people who are intent on exploiting it. We need to understand in a very full and complete way that attempting to garner sympathy, empathy, or plead to the morals of an oppressive, unjust system is like trying to squeeze blood from a stone. Your husbands, your brothers, your coworkers, your friends that made this choice to vote this way knew that it would be harmful to you. They knew that they would be putting you and many others in danger, and they did it anyway. It is up to you to decide if that is a person with which you can trust your children, your body, your intimate life, yourself, and your community with. It is up to you to seek community and solidarity to figure out how to resource yourself and others in whatever is about to come next. I am not here to catastrophize. I am not here to take on a fatalist point of view. The earth is fertile for solidarity work, for intra and extra community work. There are going to be people that need a lot of things. What I implore you, though, is to divest your time, your energy, your vulnerability wherever you can, and to not allow them to do this to you in the next 4 years. To not allow them to hijack your very existential need for safety and belonging every 4 years for what is essentially a bread and circus. I need you to take a moment and take a breath and refrain from finger pointing, from blaming the folks who didn't vote, from blaming the third-party voters, from blaming anyone except the entire context under which the United States is and has operated since its inception, in the way that every single American has the ability to either be a foot soldier for that vision or work in antagonism to it. There is a lot of work to be done. There is a lot of grieving to do. Luckily, we have generations of evidence that we can do the working and we can do the grieving at the same time. But only if we're able to stay near to each other, and only if we're able to stay focused. We will not be able to protect each other and the most vulnerable among us if we are still focused on trying to convince them. They do not.
Okay, some of you in MAGA are really losing your minds because a lot of people are cutting you off because of your support for Trump. And you're like trying to rationalize it. Well, if you're cutting me off because I supported Trump, then we weren't really friends. Yeah, people hung around with you and interacted with you and were there for you for 15, 20, 25 years of your life because they weren't really friends. No, what you showed them was that you were okay with white supremacy. You were okay with misogyny. You were okay with openly being anti-LGBTQ. You were okay with all of that. And then you try to rationalize your support for Trump through gas prices, eggs, whatever. When the fact of the matter is, Trump is your avatar. He speaks for your hatred. He hates who you hate. And people don't want to be around you in that toxic type mentality anymore. We're not cutting off friends because of who you voted for. We're cutting you off because of morality. We're cutting you off because we know we've come to that fork in the road where you've decided to go down that road of white supremacy, hatred, and violence. We decided we don't want to really be around people like you like that because we don't share the same values. We don't share the same morals. It's not about a disagreement. You could disagree whether pineapples go on pizza, which they don't, or you can disagree about any other things. You cannot disagree about the morality of who you are as an individual. So you can keep rationalizing your support for white supremacy. You can keep rationalizing your support for hatred of women. You can rationalize your support for Trump any kind of way you want. But the fact is, you morally support a man who is morally bankrupt, and you want us to be accepting and normalizing your behavior. And we just refuse to normalize abnormal behavior, narcissism, racism, white supremacy. So go over to your MAGA camp, put on your MAGA gear. That's where you want to be. That's where you enjoy being. And be happy with yourselves. Be happy in that trailer park. Be happy around all the meth addicts. Be happy with the smell of Camel cigarettes. Be happy drinking Old Milwaukee beer. Be happy with that. That is what you want.
So you know how there are those people who are breaking up with their boyfriends because their boyfriends voted for Trump, and everybody's like, oh, well, it's just politics, people can have differing opinions. No. Yes, people can have different opinions, but not when it comes to human rights. Like, different opinions when it comes to, like, pizza toppings, or, like, what's your favorite ice cream flavor, or, like, what's your favorite color. Like, different opinions, yeah, that's completely valid. Like, you can't be racist or sexist or homophobic and just be like, oh, well, it's just my opinion. Like, no, it's not an opinion. You're just being a bigot. I just don't understand why this is so hard to conceptualize. Like, why can't people just not be racist? Like, why can't people just not be homophobic? Like, why can't people just not be sexist? Like, it's really not that hard. So the people who are breaking up with their partners because their partners voted for Trump, I think it's valid, because it's not just about different opinions. It's not just about politics anymore. It's about a lot more.
So if you're following me on my page, you know that I have been actively talking to my husband about ending our 17-year marriage. But the events of the past week have made me think that maybe that's not a good idea. That this is the wrong time to go out there on my own with my kids and make myself a single mother. There's so much chaos and conflict and unknown out there that I shouldn't make any big moves. Being in my marriage is difficult and hard, and I'm very unhappy, but at least I know it. It's the devil that I know. But then a couple of days after the election, I think I was watching a video, where Trump was talking about dismantling the Department of Education. And I have 2 kids who have IEP, so I was emotional and upset about it. My husband had come home and he had asked me, what's wrong? And I told him nothing. I said, I'm fine, I'm just not feeling well. And then he walked off. And the reason why I didn't tell him about what I was really feeling is because I know that my husband is not a person that I would talk to about my emotions and feelings, because it's not safe. It would have turned into an argument about politics, or about how a woman shouldn't be president, or about conservative and libertarian and Joe Rogan and all this other shit. And my feelings would be cast aside, not meaningful or important. And that made me realize that my instinct was correct. I have to get out of here. This isn't a safe place for me, and it hasn't been a safe place for me for years. And even though I've done a pretty miraculous job keeping the marriage together, keeping the family together, in spite of my husband's effort to tear it down with his words, his actions, his indifference, this isn't the right place for me. I can't be the mother that I need to be. I can't be the protector that I need to be for my kids and myself in this environment. I know I can do it. I know I can protect myself. I know I can take care of myself. I've done it all along through this entire marriage. And I've done it while being undermined, while having somebody that's been against me and somebody who's tried to tear me down. That means if I'm free of that in the world, I can thrive. This is so different for me. I don't do this. I don't take risks and I don't take chances. This is going to be the first time in my life, really, that or the first time in many, many years that I'm going to take the biggest risk that I've ever taken. But I'm betting on somebody. I'm betting on someone who's come through for me every time, and that's been me.
Hi all, I just wanted to share something that I heard about how the US election is affecting couples. It just completely shocked me. So I was speaking to psychologists and I heard this story about a man and woman, husband and wife. They were in their late 30s, early 40s, based in California, met, dated, spent 2 years dating, got engaged, another year up to the wedding, got together, they had 2 children together, everything seemed to be going great, right? And then it comes around to the election. And then during this time, it quickly emerges that the husband is supporting the Republicans while the wife is supporting the Democrats. They have quite an argument over this, quite a division. They go to couples therapy, they see experts, they do everything they can to try and sort it out. So this all sounds, maybe it could be promising, but then at the end, they then decided that they were actually going to get divorced and end their relationship altogether. I was just completely shocked by that. I had not seen that coming at all.
No, because I want you to hear me when I say with my full fucking chest, if you voted for Donald Trump, I want you out of my life. Because at a base level, I don't care for friends. I don't care for family. Because if I'm going into a future where interracial marriage is even up for debate, I don't want you at my wedding. I don't want you there. If I travel out of state while on my period and my blood condition causes me to start hemorrhaging, and I happen to be in a state where women's health care is so strictly regulated that doctors feel like they can't interfere because any period-related bleeding could be a pregnancy and there's no interfering in that, and I bleed out and die because of the laws that are going to be left up to states' decisions, I don't want you at my funeral. If the Department of Education is defunded and my children can't go to school unless it's at a private institution that we cannot afford, and there's no way to get any assistance in affording this, I don't want you in my kids' lives. And that's just the beginning of it. So honestly, truly, if you voted for Trump, get out of my life.
If you're planning on leaving your Trump voting husband, do it now before no-fault divorce is illegal.
So this is all I got from this video, and I really do not have anything to tell him or say, but to your tent, O Israel, some of you think you can eat your cake and still have it. You cannot. You just eat it and that is it, And for those, because still there will still be more people to divorce and all that. And I am going to tell you that divorce is not something that I am not happy that they are going to divorce, but I think it's actually necessary, especially when one party says that I don't want to be in this marriage or relationship anymore. So yeah, it's shout out to the woman, and her life is going to become better, because if a father cannot stand up for his children and the wife, so what else? So why are we in the marriage? Marriage is I don't know if you have to beg your husband to take care of you, or beg your husband to know that you need this, or this is important to you, or this is what you want, or this is what is good for you. Then it means that he is not the right person for you. So a husband should always be a protector, right? A father should also be a protector. So without him being considerate of his wife and his children, he also decided to do what he did, and he thinks he will get away with it. So, the woman must really be a very strong woman for her to take such decision. At some point, I was like, maybe this might be satire or something, but then I was able to check out the man's this thing to find out that it's actually true, and they are Latino. It's really a very welcome development, and I really do wish him well in his endeavor. The reality is that some people don't listen. They think they can get away with some certain things. Like, one thing I know for life is that some certain things have consequences. So this one is also one of the consequences of whatever he has done, and I really do. Since him relax. This is one of the consequences, and I hope he faced that squarely and well, because it's a well-deserved accomplishment. Yeah, because, I wish him the very best. Why am I smiling this way? Let me know what you all think in the comment section. I'll see you all in my next video. Bye for now.